Hi everyone, today on the show I'm going to be showing you how to do this like really sort of naked, no makeup, but very obviously wearing makeup back to school look. This look is really simple to do, it's really fast, it's great for going back to school, it's super lightweight and it will last through the entire school day. Plus, please watch to the end because I sort of like have a message there that I just filmed that I want as many of you to see as possible, so please watch till the end because it does get a little bit deep, but it's well worth it. But before we go any further, if you are new here, why are you not subscribed? This is probably the third video of mine that you've watched. If it's the first, welcome. But if it's the third, why are you not subscribed yet? You've clearly been binging me. You clearly like my presence. You clearly like my face. So why don't you just like hit that subscribe family and join the It's Not Very Effective family, I guess? I mean, we're a bunch of weirdos, but I don't want to be like, hey, you weirdos. I hate it when people do that. It's like, just hit the subscribe button and join the family. So quick thing going into this look, my goals were sort of lightweight, quick to do, and sort of not necessarily detectable. Obviously, if you know makeup, it's detectable, but I feel like if you don't really know makeup, it's not inherently detectable. At least on my monitor and in my mirror. Maybe from a different pair of eyes, that's a completely different situation. But in my monitor, it kind of looks like I'm not wearing too much makeup, so let's get into this. So we're going to start with primer, and all the products I'm going to be using are sort of keeping in mind what my skin was like when I was in school. I had really bad acne, my pores were bigger than my face. I don't know how that happened, it just did. So that'll just kind of give you an idea of the type of base we're going to go for. So with that in mind, we're going to go in with the No Pore-Blem Primer by Touch in Soul. And also all the makeup I'm going to be using will either be super long lasting, so it'll last you the entire school year, or it's kind of like more on the affordable end. One thing I will say is if you can, moisturize well before you use this primer, because this primer, it's great, but it can be a little bit drying, just a little bit drying. And if you are a teenage boy that has just started shaving, take this advice, wait at least half an hour to 45 minutes between shaving and putting on makeup. You will thank me later. So even though we're sort of keeping acne-prone skin in mind, most schools probably wouldn't allow you to wear super full coverage foundation. So we're going to go in with the Benefit Hello Happy Pore Blurring Foundation. We're just going to take some on our blender and dot it around the face. So even though this is up to medium coverage, my experience of this is that it's more of a sheer coverage, which is fine. That's still sort of like what we're going to go for, because anything we're too concerned about, concealer exists. See what I mean by it's super sheer? I actually did a review of this foundation when I first used it. At the time, I had no idea it would become my daily, I don't want people to know I'm wearing makeup, but also I want to wear makeup foundation. Which is also why it's great for school, because a lot of schools don't allow makeup. But a lot of teachers are so clueless that you could probably get away with this and be like, I'm not wearing any makeup. So I'm actually going to be changing up my usual order a little bit here. So we're going to be doing eyebrows next, and we're going to go in with the Kat Von D 24 Hour Super Brow. And we're using the color Blonde. I think these colors like run a little bit dark because like my hair is not blonde, my eyebrow hairs are like brown, but this like matches perfectly. And the reason we're doing it in this order is just so it's easier to clean up the brows with like concealer and stuff after, like cleaning up the perimeter, which is not what I would normally do, but because we're not baking with this look and we're just kind of like putting on concealer and then blending it out as quick as possible because we want everything to sort of not cake in, we just want everything to look like we're not wearing makeup, we kind of just have to clean up as we go. Now I will say, when I was in school, this is not how I did my makeup. When I was in school, my makeup was very scene, it was very emo, it was very like rawr XD. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, I probably won't do it how I did it back then, because it was tragic back then. But if you want to do like an updated version, because Still do that makeup from time to time just to see how far I've come, I won't lie. And don't worry too much about the brows being even. If your brows are too even, they become suspicious. And you don't want suspicious eyebrows in school. So there's actually two concealers you could use for this look. I was just kind of torn between the two, but there's the Naked Skin from Urban Decay. It's a really natural looking concealer, like no one will be able to clock it. And then you've also got the Born This Way Super Coverage Concealer from Too Faced. I think we're gonna go with this one for the sake of the video, but keep in mind, if I was actually in school, I would probably be using this one. So just something for you guys to keep in mind. So where I would normally dip in multiple times, this time we're only going to go in with the one dip because we kind of want this to be very, very seamless, very, very unclockable. So just keep that in mind. What we're doing here is not what I would normally do, but I also, when I was in school, didn't normally go to school. I shouldn't admit to that. Go to school, kids, don't skip, be better than me. I skipped a lot because I was bullied badly and the school didn't do anything about it. And as always, I am going to bring it down to here, but notice how it's like a lot more sheer than normal because we only dipped in the once for each side, and so we're sort of just relying on what's left over. Next, because we need a bit of precision, we're going to take a color packing brush and literally coat the brush with whatever is on the concealer paddle thing. Doe foot applicator, is that what they're called? I don't know. But we're just going to shape out the brow area a little bit just to help clean this up. I will admit, this is probably a step I should do every time I do my makeup, but can't plan your life. Okay, and I would normally leave all of this to set for like 5 minutes, but we're not doing that today. We're just going to get straight into blending everything out. And you see how like the concealer's made the brows a little bit almost ashy? We will be fixing that up in a little bit. Do not worry. So we are not baking at all today. We're just going to go in with the Urban Decay Deslick powder. It's just a pure white, very, very translucent powder. But we're just going to apply that to the problem areas only. And notice how I say problem areas only and then applying it to my whole face. Do with that what you will. Next we're moving on to eyes, and I thought long and hard about an eyeshadow that would last a student the entire school year and is somewhat more in the affordable range, and so I kind of came up with the Naked 2 by Urban Decay because it's easily dupable. There are a lot of cheaper versions of it, but you can get a good amount of variety and it's gonna look natural if you're in a situation where, quite frankly, you're not supposed to wear makeup in. I just brought you guys in a little bit closer so you could see what's going on with the eyes. So we're gonna start by coating our lid with this Foxy color, and we're just gonna do this with a color packing brush, really pressing in, getting a nice smooth base for everything. And we're not going to be using too many colors in this look, maybe 3 or 4. I really put in a lot of work into sort of thinking about, okay, what's doable when you've got a school day and you're probably up late the night before. So hopefully I got it right because I haven't been in school in a minute. But I've had jobs. So that's info. Next, we're going to put tease into our crease. A good thing about the Naked 2 in particular, I haven't really used the other Naked palettes other than the Naked Heat, but the good thing about the Naked 2 is that everything kind of blends itself as it goes on, and that's why I really like this palette. Next, we're going to coat the lid with Booty Call. And this just kind of helps to brighten things up a bit, because it was looking a little bit dull. Then we're going to take Snake Bite into our outer V. Blend it upwards as you're doing this. Don't take it too far in. Where it's a little bit, I guess you could say, chunky right now, we'll be blending that out in a second. And just blend that out with a clean, fluffy brush. This is the one thing about the Naked palettes that I've noticed. I don't know if other people have had this problem, if it's just me in the way I lay down eyeshadows, but I've noticed that you kind of have to like blend out as you go, which is fine. Then we're going to take our pinky and go into Verve. We're just going to place that on the inner corner. And don't worry, that will be blended out in a second. It will look a lot less crazy. Then we're going to very, very lightly take a fluffy brush and go in with Tease. And we're going to like extremely lightly take it along about halfway across the waterline. Just blend that up. And then we're just going to take a clean brush and blend everything out so it's all like a little bit less crazy and intense. Then finally we're going to take Booty Call one last time, and we're just going to take that around the perimeter of everything we've just done with like a good amount of focus on the brow bone, just to help that area blend out, because sometimes it can look like a ring and we really don't want that today. And that's the eyes done. There's no eyeliner for this look, there's no mascara. You just kind of want your eyes to look naked without having them be naked. So this is it. This is it for the eyes. You can add more if you want, but I would leave it like this personally. Next, we're gonna go into the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. But before we start contouring, we're gonna take this brown color and a fluffy pointed brush and just sort of fill in our eyebrows a little bit, just to help get rid of that ashiness that we produced earlier. And this will also just help to give our brows some like variation of color, because all brows do have some slight variation of color, believe it or not. So, staying at the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, we're going to take a Morphe M438 and contour. We're just going to chisel out the jawline. I wouldn't really recommend doing the cheekbones today. I mean, you can if you want, but I kind of find like just doing the cheekbones really takes a look into Naked to a lot. So just keep that in mind if you do choose to do them and you get caught out. Probably it's just because you contoured the cheekbones. Then we're going to take this lighter color and we're just going to press that in along the higher part of the jawline here. So for highlight, I thought long and hard about a highlighter you could get away with wearing at school. So we're going to go in with the Kat Von D Alchemy palette and we're going to use this color Pink Opal. I would recommend, if you want to skip a step, skip this one. Highlight is not as important as people think. It's sort of like a nice bonus, but I recommend Pink Opal because it does tend to blend in with all skin shades very, very nicely. It's sort of like a color that skin can produce naturally, and I chose the Alchemist palette because it's got no glitter in it. It's literally just a shine, so it can look very, very natural. For lips, I totally recommend only use a sheer gloss. So we're gonna go in with Too Faced Sweet Peach Oil in the shade Peach Fuzz. I don't know why I look, that's literally the only shade in this I own. Then for our last step, we're doing blush. This is a step that I don't normally do. You've probably never seen me do blush before. Skin does have redness in it, so we want to bring back some pink or some red to try and make this look natural. So we're going to go in with this peach smoothie color from the White Peach palette by Too Faced, but anything that's pink and kind of sheer will work. We're just gonna go along this part of our cheeks. It's just underneath our dark circles. We don't want to go on too much either. But if you do it up high like this, it one gives the illusion of much higher jawbones, but it's a lot more natural to have blush here than it is here, believe it or not. I really don't know why it's done lower down. Maybe because everyone thinks it looks better there, but if you want it to look natural, here's the place to have it. And that's sort of like the goal of this kind of blush. We want it to look natural. We don't necessarily want it to look glamorous. And because this highlight and this blush together are a little bit intense, we're just gonna go in with our brush from earlier, our fluffy brush that we set down the Deslick powder with. We're just gonna press that in. And if anyone asks why the inner corners of your eyes are shining so much, just say you've been crying, no one will question it. So I'm looking at my face with my hair down and I'm feeling like we're looking a little bit naked. So we're gonna go with the Shade and Light palette one more time and we're just gonna contour the nose. If I were you and you're in school, I would recommend skipping this step, but I'm doing it because I'm not in school and I want to do it and I'm feeling naked. So, does that defeat the point of this tutorial? Yes. Do I care? Slightly. Do I need to learn to not care? Yes. This tutorial's a little bit all over the place, I'll give you guys that, but we're gonna go back into the eyes one more time because I just had a thought. Sticking with the Shade and Light palette, we're gonna go in with this sort of like lightest dark color. We're almost gonna use it as eyeliner, but it's sort of gonna be like blended out slightly because it is powder. It's very, very subtle, but I feel like it's made a difference, kind of. Maybe. Probably not, but I feel better about myself. Then finally, to set this for the school day, we're gonna go in some Urban Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray and just set that all down. And this is the final look. This look is really, really lightweight. It barely feels like I'm wearing makeup at all. It's sort of natural, like if you know makeup, you know I'm obviously wearing makeup. But if you're unfamiliar with makeup, you just think, oh, you look really good without makeup. Like a straight dude. There are some variations you could do on this, like with the Urban Decay Naked Heat. I love this palette. Just on me, it's very, very obviously eyeshadow. But if you've got deeper skin, this will look like you're not wearing anything. It is perfect. This is sort of like the deeper skin equivalent of the Naked 2. I love this for just doing my under eye. I love really, really warm, reddy tones for the under eye, but only when I want it to be obvious that I'm wearing eyeshadow. Today we went for a very naked look, which is why I didn't use this. Finally, I just want to say, like, I have no idea what schools are like these days. I don't. I've left school and I haven't looked back. But I will say, if you're an effeminate guy, like I was in school, and you're being bullied for wearing makeup, if you're being bullied for being into different things, if you're interested in things that people say you shouldn't be interested in because of what you present as, or because of what they perceive you to be, like people perceived me to be a boy when I was in school, and as much as I use masculine pronouns, it's not the case here at all. Just keep doing you and persevere through it, so long as it's safe for you to do that. I was very lucky where, even though I was bullied and I was physically harmed in school, I was in a situation where I was just like, okay, I just can't go to school today, I can't deal with that. And I just didn't go to school, which is not a smart thing to do. But honest to God, just persevere through whatever situation you're in. Because if you persevere and stick at your dreams and keep working at things, things will keep building and building and building and building, and you will figure things out. And it will get to a point where you can play a good game of Look Who's Better. How Look Who's Better works is you log into Facebook, you find the people that used to bully you, you look at them, still in that same town, still not having achieved a single thing they said they would achieve, some of them even having given up on their dreams, and you look at yourself and you're achieving your dreams and you're living a life that makes you happy, and you say to yourself, look who's better. Makeup for me has always been a form of self-empowerment. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this is not how I did my makeup in school. My makeup in school was a lot more extreme, and that's what made me happy. It's what made me empowered, and it's what helped me get through all the bullying, helped me cut through all of the mess that I was going through. And if you're in that situation, find your own form of empowerment. It doesn't have to be makeup. but there is one there for you. Everyone has their own form of empowerment. Please find yours, because it can save your life. Sorry, that got a little bit deep there. That's something I'm really, really passionate about. So let's lighten the mood a little bit and just go to my goofy outro where I try and convince you to watch this video. Please watch it. I don't know what else to say. This is awkward as hell. Maybe subscribe and like this video. Comment down below on if you wear makeup to school. This is awkward. I got passionate and I don't know how to end the passion. How do I end the passion?